Hello and welcome to a video. My name is Chetan, and in this video we'll look at all the input fields available in JD Builder. Now the input fields are actually field types that make up your form. So this is a field type, this is a field. You can see two different ones here, and we'll just go through all of them. So I just went ahead and added a field here, field 4, and I'll just name it test since we are working on this one. So test. Perfect. So the first one is a text field type, which is basically input field type for accepting names, company names, anything where it's a short amount of text, where there's a limited amount of text. Then we have text area, which is similar to message. And what you can do here is this is for accepting long text, where it may be a message, it may be a description, it may be notes, or anything that's going to be a paragraph. This is for that. Now with text area, you have an additional option for number of rows. You can increase the rows or decrease to adjust the height of your text area. The next one is the radio field, and this comes with multiple options. So we'll just say radio 1, radio 2, radio 3, and radio 4. So this is just a choice option for the user. User can select either one of these and good to go. The additional option for this one is the layout, where you can either have these horizontally, which is by default, or vertically, which is this way. Whatever you choose would work just fine. Next one is acceptance checkbox. Now the way this works is you can say I agree to the terms of use, right? And the user must check it before submitting the form, or you can have it default checked. And this field accepts HTML, which means you can link the terms of use to perhaps a website if you want to, or maybe an article or something like that. All right? And you can see this is a link. So that works. The next field is checkboxes, and this is more of a copy of the radio field we tested earlier, but with multiple options. So in the radio field, user could only select one, but in this one, the user can select multiple options at the same time. And again, these are all standard fields. And with this one, you have the same option. You can have these horizontally or vertically. The next field is the calendar field. Now this is a great field. Let me adjust the width of this field. This offers you a lot of flexibility. You have an option to select a minimum date. By default, you can easily click today, tomorrow, or you can select a date in the past, and a maximum date. So if you want your dates submitted to be under a specific range, you can do a minimum and a maximum. And then is a date format. Now this is something great because it offers you great flexibility as far as how your users can format the date. So by default, this is month, date, year. And let's say we want to change it to year. We want to change it to date, month, year, which is a standard, I guess, for most of the Europe. So we can say DD MMYY. There you go. And we also have other options. So for date, we can do DO, and it would say 5th instead of 5. And to get a alphabetical name, we can do 3 M's. So we can say 5th March, or 4 M's for full name, 5th March 2020, or something like that. So the options here are endless as far as any date format you may want to accept. And it just makes it much easier for you to do anything that you may want here. And the next field is the list field. Now this is again just a single choice like the radio field we saw in the beginning. And an additional option for this field is you can do multiple selection, where the user can make multiple selections before submitting the form. And that's really straightforward as well. And so the user would just do it with control, and you can enable or disable it here. The next field is the email field. And this is similar to a text field that we had in the very beginning. It validates to make sure it's a valid email address. The next is a number field. Now this is for number values specifically. So if you want to limit your input to a numerical value, you can do that. This comes with a maximum length and a maximum value. So you don't have to confuse maximum length with the number of the field. Actually, it's actually the length of the number. Let me give you an example here. So I'll put in maximum length and minimum and maximum length of 5, or maybe I'll do it 6. And 6 digits is the length of zip codes in India. So if I make it 7, then I'll get this error message. If I make it 4, then I'll also get this error message. However, if I make it 6, then it's all good to go. The same as the value field. The value field actually works based on the value of the field. So let's say you're asking someone for their budget and you want the budget to be in a specific range. So you can put 500 to 5,000 and the value of the field now must be within that range. So if I try to submit, you'll see I get an error. It must be less than 5,000. But if I try submitting 450, I'll get another error. And there's another thing that's very helpful here is the step. So you can put a step of 50, which means when the user uses these buttons to increase or decrease the value, it'll go by 50 every time rather than giving them a free floating number. So if I try to submit 789, I cannot do that. I should either submit 750 or 800. So again, giving you more control over what the user can submit and more validations. The next field is the URL field. Again, this is just a text field, but validates the input to be a valid URL. And then you have the file upload field. This is again a great field. Let me drag a file here. So I can just drag and drop a file into this field, and there you go. The file is there and it will be part of the submission. And the next field, let's talk about the file upload field. So you have an option to limit the kind of files you accept. So you can say you only want to accept images or text files or docs or something like that. And then you also have an option to limit the size of the file. So you can say 2 megabytes. Now make sure you keep this number below this number, because if your limit is 8 megabytes, PHP limit is 8 megabytes, you cannot go above that limit. And the next field is a hidden field. Now this is just here to give you more flexibility to create advanced forms. If you want to submit something as part of the form which is not visible to the user, maybe there's a UTM tag for your Google tracking, or you're running ads, you want some other kind of tracking, you can use this field. And that's pretty much it. That's how you go around using all the fields in the form element. We have other videos explaining the rest of the options and creating forms in detail, so we won't go through all of them right now, but this is as simple as it gets as far as the fields are concerned in JD Builder. Thanks for watching.